Welcome back to the channel. Marco Cipolla here with Gear Sustain. I would appreciate you guys checking out the video. Today we're going to be talking about the Tesla Model 3 maintenance, cost, and guidelines.
Welcome to the office, everybody. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about Tesla Model 3 and Tesla in general in terms of its maintenance and costs and everything associated with that schedule, if you will. So without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen here, and we're just going to simply hands-on walk through the Tesla website, different sources, and exactly what they recommend in terms of maintenance and cost associated with multiple different things here. So the first thing I want to go over is, and hopefully this isn't too boring, but I want to keep it pretty concise, just like, hey, look, cabin air filter. Okay, as far as cabin air filter goes, you want to make sure that you replace this every 2 years. Tesla recommends cabin air filter for every single vehicle, for all of the models, every 2 years. That's pretty much significant there. So as far as the high efficiency particulate air filter, this one right here, so that's the HEPA one. This is every 3 years. You could ask your local service technician exactly about that one and show them different components there, but let's keep going. So tire rotation, balance, wheel and alignment, of course this needs to be done on every single vehicle out there, you know, whether it's internal combustion or Tesla. So it says every 6,250 miles, you know, depending on the ride you have, and obviously if you have stock wheels and that sort of thing. I would do some individual research if you have different wheels and tires, but if you have the Tesla manufacturer tires, follow the owner's manual, which is in your glove box. If we keep going here, brake fluid, you have to remember Tesla is Tesla and it's a lot simpler, but you still do have various components to the vehicle, such as brake fluid, air conditioning fluid, and various other fluids that you're going to have to check on a quarterly basis, if you will. So that says every 2 years. You want to replace that as needed, of course. Air conditioning, so this is where it gets a little more complex. So if we take a look at this one here, as it relates to air conditioning, if you have the Model 3, which if you watch my videos, this is the one we have, you'll have to replace that every 6 years about. Now, for the Model S, it's every 2 years. For the Model X and Y, it's every 4 years. So make sure you remember that, and I'll link this website below in the description just to ensure that you see this. Very, very important stuff there. As far as winter care, Tesla recommends cleaning and lubricating all brake calipers every 12 months or 12,500 miles for cars that are in cold weather regions. So, for example, I came from Denver. I didn't necessarily do anything since it was a brand new vehicle. It was clean, it was lubricated. I brought it here, and by the time it got back, it was, you know, it was all dry and everything else. So I simply felt fine. If I was obviously up there for many, many weeks, then of course we would look at different things to do there. So as far as your weather and your regional area, keep that in mind. Now, as far as scheduling maintenance and scheduling different service calls, you can use the Tesla service app. So on your phone, which I'll pull mine up right now, I'll show you because I just went to one, and it was for a, so basically there was like a loud noise in the back rear seat. But what you're going to want to do is, if you could see that right there, you want to click on service, okay? So if we click on service, what's going to happen is it's going to choose your location, and it's going to figure out, okay, where's the nearest service area or service center, and it's going to give you the option of mobile service, and then as well, it's going to give you the option to choose that location, if you will, as well. Some frequently asked questions, but let's move on. I want to go over to the PDF here, which is the owner's manual for the Tesla Model 3 specifically. Now we're going to zoom in here so we can get, so we can make sense of this here. And if we take a look here, there's various different maintenance and scheduling guidelines that you should follow in owning a Model 3 Tesla. And, you know, we already went over the brake fluid, the AC, air conditioning, the cabin air filter, remember, every 2 years, 1,250 miles for the, you know, winter care vehicles. Now, again, it's as it relates to the salt on the roads. Daily check. There's a few things that they recommend to do. To be honest with you, this is just like driving your vehicle. You know, you're gonna notice these types of things. So check your battery charge level, just to make sure you're not running into any issues there and it's not dropping significantly for whatever reason. You want to check the condition and pressure of each tire. You're actually able to see this within your screen on the Tesla Model 3. You want to check to make sure all the lights and horns and everything is functioning every now and then, just for unexpected annoyances that might come up, if you will. You want to make sure that your brakes work. So not just using regenerative braking all the time, but also using the brakes every now and then to make sure that there is some pressure that you push down on there and they work significantly, obviously for safety reasons. Now, as far as other things you want to do on a monthly basis, you want to check your washer fluid. That's very important so you don't run into any issues there. One thing I want to say is windshield wiper fluid. When I got my vehicle from Denver, it didn't come with any windshield wiper fluid. And I was a little bit curious, like what the heck, hopefully, you would think that buying a new vehicle, it's going to come with all that in it already. So I didn't have any, and I still haven't put anything in it. Well, I feel like something was coming out, but it, then of course, like a little bit later, it wasn't coming out. So I don't know if there was a little bit in there or what the issue was. But just make sure you're staying up to date on all of these different fluids on a monthly basis. My bad, there was a little bit of a battery issue there with my camera. But anyways, let's continue on. Fluid replacement intervals. So you want to make sure that usually every single 2 years, you want to make sure that you replace as necessary the battery fluid. Now, obviously, this is going to preserve the longevity of your battery, so very, very important to do that. Stay in touch with your local Tesla service center for that specifically. And it says, note, any damage caused by opening the battery coolant reservoir is excluded from the warranty. So just make sure you keep that for consideration since the warranty is limited time, and you think about that and just make sure it's top of mind when you're implementing that. Anyways, high voltage safety. Some things you can read through here. I don't want to go too much into the weeds on that specifically. Maintenance schedule. There are some warnings you want to keep in mind as far as the battery and exactly what the rotation there is. Tire care and maintenance. So you want to make sure that you maintain tire pressures as much as possible. Now, it depends, like for example, in winter, your tire pressure is going to be different from summer. But making sure that you're up to date on your tire pressure is not only going to keep safety at top of mind, but it's also going to increase the longevity of your tires, Tesla tires specifically as well. And it's dependent on your specific Tesla tires. Like if you have stock tires, it's going to be different than aftermarket tires from tire shop or whatever. But what you could do actually to see is if you go to controls, display, and tire pressure, you can actually see the PSI and the different pressure there on the 4 different tires within the Tesla Model 3. As far as warnings goes, underinflation is the most common cause of tire failures. So your tire bulges or your tire hits the curb and pops or what have you. Tire failure at the end of the day is usually an end result or a cause is low tire pressure or tire pressure just simply isn't right. So make sure that is consistent and concise with the guidelines within this operation book. And I'm actually going to leave this guidelines book in the description below. So if you need it, you can actually click on that specifically as well. A lot of information on tire and wear and tear and things to keep in mind as far as that. I will say one thing. With the tires itself, if we take a look at like this specifically right here, on the Aero wheels specifically, it's really easy to get curb rash. And that's actually one of the things I noted in my previous video about the things I dislike about my Tesla and I wish I'd known before, which by the way, if you haven't checked out that video, I'll leave it below. It's really prone to getting tire rash, and that's one of the things I simply just don't like. It's kind of my fault, but just keep that in mind. As far as the tire care and maintenance, there's a lot of things that go into it, from tires to, from winter care to summer tires to various other things. As far as the internals of the vehicle itself, just follow the car maintenance guide there, and every 2 years go do this, every 5 years do this. Ask your Tesla service center maintenance guy what's coming up on my Tesla based on the amount of miles I have and how long I've been driving this vehicle. They're trained and they're exceptional at what they do at Tesla. So I would entrust them with what needs to come up next and what the next protocols are if something needs to be fixed or what have you. So I appreciate you guys taking the time and checking out this quick video. If you liked this video and found value in this video, I would appreciate if you guys could give a massive thumbs up on this video as well.